Magical Dreamer, a full audio story by Blue Violets. Introduction. Ever since I was a baby, I told Papa Orly I wanted to be a writer. He every day before school would draw characters from my stories such as Dolly the dog or Cappy the cat. These characters were considered my friends growing up, and when I was turned 14, Mother Kimberly introduced me to lore. I had to take baby steps first, so she and I would roleplay together on the table with my stepdad, Alan. This was all experience for me as a way to get to know my characters and feed in the lore. The first character I've made via a main character was a purple fox named Blossom. That was where I had Blossom Magicals as a childhood series that I've turned into a comic process in late 2021. Fantasy stories my in-real-life friends told me can either be a Mona Lisa masterpiece or magic glitches on a device. Slips, through cracks, and even some abandonments or changes. A lot of my teachers went for massive straight plot lessons. Problem is known as conflict in the story, then you have the resolution that fixes it. So I decided I'd start making fixed lore or stories with an ending. Named was a Jesus-related fixed story about a girl named Marilev. This was my first story lore with an ending to it. This book, Magical Dreamer, is a story about a girl named Betty Dreamer. These two stories are my very first time drawing animated humans. Betty's evolution had went from ordinary to extraordinary. She looks way better than the image above. Betty's ally Benjamin has his name based off the brother of Joseph the Dreamer from the Bible. There are also major side characters like Betty's mother Nevaeh. Nevaeh is a spiteful woman who is actually Betty's stepmother after her father married. Although I've decided that Nevaeh should have a biological daughter to add a unique Cinderella effect to Betty's lore. The sister of Betty is named Beatrice. She is 2 years older and a spoiled brat. She has anything a girl could ever want. She also has two best friends who are about the same age because they were born within different months of the same year. So I got all the important characters covered. I hope you enjoyed this book as much as I loved writing it. Chapter 1. Ugly Betty. You need to lose weight, Betty. You are an extreme distraction to the class. None of my students can't concentrate because they are laughing at you. Betty was outside her classroom with her teacher, Miss Tyler. Everyone had their EOY exam today, but had to be interrupted when Dylan had to turn his test paper into a paper ball to throw at Betty, and the rest of the students decided to make a snowball fight. Of course, this was the first time it happened. Betty was a nerd, as most call her. She had straight A's all over her school reports because she concentrates very well. Her father, Peter, supported her every way. That was until the doctor said she had to be on a medicine, and one of the side effects was gaining weight. After a few months, her students were so busy bullying her that Miss Tyler decided to start failing Betty past the rest of her students. After degrading Betty a few minutes ago, Miss Tyler sighed, agitated. How did I end up with a student like you? She went back to the classroom after that. Betty was bursting in tears after that, and she went downstairs. She walked to the main office, but stopped at the door by staff. What are you doing, Betty? Mrs. Andrea asked when she saw the girl's tears. I'm sorry, Miss Andrea, Betty sniffed and cried. I just need to call Dad. Goodness gracious, child. Miss Andrea got out of Saul's way, and Betty zoomed into the office. Betty grabbed the black telephone and took time to dial her father's number with her shaky fingers. She picked up the phone up in one ear and waited for an answer. Hello? A voice on the phone answered. Dad, Betty cried. Betty, is that you? Dad, I want to leave early, Betty sobbed. Betty, don't you have your exam today? You cannot fail. This is a way for you to graduate elementary. I'm still gonna fail anyway, Dad. I hate this school. Mrs. Tyler's already failing me and letting the rest pass. Even if you hold a meeting with her, there will be no proof. This is not the way. Betty was hearing two female voices in the background. Dad, what's going on? She asked through the phone. Betty, I have to go, okay? I'll pick you up at 2:00 p.m. as always, okay? The phone hung up. Betty put the phone back and went outside to cry silently. The sky was blue as usual, and there were weeds everywhere in the gardens. It was as if the school didn't care. Betty sat on a stone bench and daydreamed. All her life before her weight gain, she had always dreamed of being with someone. A Prince Charming, while she pretended to be a princess. She would fly in the skies non-stop, unicorns and rainbows everywhere. She would be light as a feather on her feet. She would let the wind make her hair fly like clouds. The sun would speak to her eyes as her eyes were angels bracing it. Her eyes softly closed, she found herself on a floating cloud, a butterfly that never flies down, a windy flutter among every single breath she took. A beating heart was a clock ticking and it doesn't stop. It was inner peace. It felt like only one moment until someone tapped her shoulder. Betty? Betty opened her eyes and found out she was only on the ordinary school's stone bench in the ordinary school's weeded-up garden. She looked up and saw her father's lilac eyes looking at hers. He looked very concerned. Dad? Betty sat up and rubbed her eyes. It was already sunset, and the sky was a mix of vermilion and violet among the semicircle sun that was waving a good night. How long has she been asleep for? I came at 2 to pick you up, but I couldn't find you anywhere. I don't know how long I was trying to look for, but I found you laying on the bench. You weren't moving. I thought... Dad, you know I'm too young to let God carry me to his castle. Betty shook her head at him. I know. I'm sorry, sweetheart. When we go back home, your mom and I will make you and Beatrice dinner. She's not my mom. She's your wife. Besides, Beatrice isn't that type of person. She's always on the phone talking with her friends. She don't care that I'm allergic to cats. No, Betty, don't be like that. Nevaeh is a very kind woman. She spoils her children. She is sure to spoil you. Peter tried to convince her. She's sure to spoil me, all right, Betty said under her breath. Peter shook his head. There was no point in really trying. He knew his biological daughter was just like his wife. She wanted her mind and world at ease and tried to prevent baby puppies from becoming vicious wolves. He sighed. Let's go home. He finally spoke up. Peter helped his daughter into the back seat and began to drive home. It was 7:00 p.m. when they got home. A simple white family house with a gray garage door and a brown roof. From the large wooden window, you could see Nevaeh's golden chandelier in the maroon-colored dining room, added with a brown table and chairs on a checkered floor. Peter opened the green door. We're home, he announced. Ah, finally! Beatrice looked from her phone for once. Where's that pair of AirPods, Daddy? Beatrice, I told you I was picking her up from school. Ugh, seriously? Look at her. Who would want to bring home Fatty Betty? Beatrice scoffed. Betty frowned. This was what she had to deal with at the school. Nevaeh came down the stairs, her elegant fan over her face. Her dress matched with her red lips and brown hair. Peter Cottontail coming for his golden egg again, she joked. Hello, Neva. He smiled. Betty's back too, I see. How was your exam? Nevaeh looked at her stepdaughter with green eyes. Betty didn't want to talk about Miss Tyler degrading her body shape. She's had a rough day, but she'll make it, Peter reassured her. You mean she got kicked out for failing F for fat again? Beatrice laughed. Dad, I'm going to my room. Betty walked away. What about dinner, Betty? I know how much you love mac and cheese. Peter walked Betty watched Betty walk away. "You can cook for Beatrice." Betty closed the bedroom door. "Yay!" Beatrice rejoiced. "Monkey roll day!" Betty walked into her bedroom and shut the door. She went onto her pretty purple Pegasus bed. She then started crying, grabbing her Izzy Moonbow plushie, and scrolled for her phone. For a few weeks now, Betty has been wanting to quit every single one of her social apps. Instagram, Snapchat, Discord, TikTok. Yeah, you get the gist. The only app she didn't have to quit was YouTube. She had an account, but she never posted anything. All she does is watch Doorman. If she wasn't on YouTube, she would be playing with her toys, or wear her unicorn ears and wings and tail. Before her dad married Nevaeh, they would spend every day making unicorn and Pegasus dances on TikTok, and they'd go viral. Peter had made money supporting his daughter. Unfortunately, when Beatrice and Nevaeh came into the scene, Betty lost views and followers after that. Peter didn't make the choice to get a job after that. Betty made him get one, and he knew he had no choice. When Peter and Nevaeh got married, Peter had started to hesitate with helping Betty and would stay in total silence due to Beatrice being against her. He didn't want her mom mad at him if he upset the girl. However, he had gotten extremely lucky this time, picking Betty up from school instead of buying AirPods for Beatrice. Betty knew that things shall never be the same again. "Oh my gosh, that was so delicious, thank you," Betty overheard Beatrice saying. Betty cried herself to sleep. Meanwhile, at the kitchen, Peter was washing the dishes. "You're welcome, Beatrice," he smiled. "Peter, why can't we eat as a family?" Nevaeh asked. "Well, Neva, Betty is just having a hard time with big changes coming and going," Peter told her. "Hard smart. Betty is about to be in middle school. She needs to learn to adjust whether she likes it or not. Take Beatrice, for example. She cares less about Betty. You did tell me Betty is going for drastic weight change due to her medicine. Tell me why she even takes that," Nevaeh demanded. "Betty is autistic, Neva. The very reason why she takes that medicine is because she was starting to have memory loss," Peter explained. "Why are you pointing out the useless information on her being autistic?" Nevaeh asked. "It is because autistic people's brains work differently and develop slowly. When we are not doing that to her, she's going on a strict diet," Nevaeh protested. Peter sighed. A few hours later, Beatrice was on FaceTime with her friend Cleo, picking out her outfit for tomorrow. "I should do blue. It's a very popular color. Green will make me look like a fat Tuesday, and I would die looking like my fat sister," she bragged. "Blue and purple go very well together. How about silver jewelry?" Cleo asked. "Are you kidding me? Silver is so second place, and like I said, yellow and green make Mardi Gras," Beatrice shivered. "Then diamonds? They're girl's best friend. So rough and expensive. Any boy will want you," Cleo squealed. "Boys? Ew! Boys are burger eaters. They pick their noses and eat it." Beatrice had a sour expression, putting her outfit on a mannequin. Nevaeh had won the argument. Peter had no choice but to leave Betty home. Tomorrow, she would take Betty to the doctor, see about proper pills. After the appointment, she would take Betty to the gym every day until there was improvement on her way. Peter went to Betty's bedroom, checked on his daughter. He then started crying. He knelt beside her and put his hands between both of his. "Lord, lay her down to sleep. If she dies, her soul to keep. If she dies before she wake, I pray the Lord her soul to take." After bedtime prayer, Peter stood up and kissed Betty's head. He put Izzy next to her and left the door open. Beatrice decided to go see a spring dress with amethyst jewelry. Cleo adored it as it matched her hair, shoes, and blue scrunchie. She spent till 2 a.m. on the phone until she passed out as well. Betty woke up a fright because she was 2 hours late to school. Beatrice was not in the house, but never was her father. "Dad?" she called out to him. "Come downstairs, Betty," Nevaeh called out. "What? Just her stepmother?" Betty clinged onto Izzy Moonbow hard. She hasn't been left alone with her stepmom before. She got out of bed, Izzy still in her hand. "Betty!" Nevaeh called out again. Betty gulped. She slowly got out of her bedroom and cautiously walked down the stairs. Nevaeh poked out the dining room, seeing her stepdaughter slowly coming down the second floor. "Betty, I made you mac and cheese for you and Izzy." She looked down as she went back to the dining room. Betty finally made it to the dining room, sitting down to what looked like green stuff in a mac and cheese. "This isn't my mac and cheese," Betty claimed. "Oh!" Nevaeh exclaimed, turning around. "I forgot to tell you, Betty. I had a broccoli tea mac and cheese. Eating your vegetables makes you healthy and strong." She smiled at Betty. Betty cringed at the mac. "Broccoli? Vegetables? Not ever." She pushed it away slowly. "Don't you want to grow up big and strong?" Nevaeh asked. "I'd rather starve to death than eat broccoli from an alien planet." Betty folded her arms. "Oh, well, if you don't eat alien food, you'll be ugly and scrawny like Miss Tyler. I know you don't want that." Nevaeh frowned. The idea of adding Miss Tyler almost made Betty laugh. She smirked. Nevaeh saw the smirk and smiled. "What if I told you that there is magical candy that can make you so healthy that you would be as thin and beautiful as Beatrice?" "Really?" Betty looked up. "Of course. Dear pink colored candy." Nevaeh nodded. Betty stood up, looking at Nevaeh. "Would it be my candy?" "Why, obviously, Betty." "Okay, then, I'll go," Betty decided. So Betty ended up getting what Nevaeh called unicorn candy at her new doctor. She had lost Izzy Moonbow because the Sparkle stole it, and even the staff at the office said she could keep it, mistaking it for a doctor's office waiting room toy left out. Betty had a tug-of-war with the kid when she realized what was really going on. "Izzy is mine!" Betty cried.